Hey everybody, it's JD. I'm doing another video here, and this one's going to be a little different. I've already done a Venom, I've done a Thanos, and I've done a Silver Surfer. I'm really not going to ever really do a Thor. I'm going to do it in 3 parts, but it's not going to be much of a history or what covers and everything else. I'll do part of that as we go along. This is part 1, which is collecting outside of keys, or sometimes they are keys. It's what do you collect when you kind of got most of your keys that you want, and you don't want to start a whole new run of spending high-end books. You find like a secondary collection, which one of mine, I have a few. One is comics that come out or that are dated on your birth month and year. Another one is this one here, which is my favorite character, Thor, in all the comics, versus other heroes covers. Now I do one versus my favorite solo covers. I'm going to do one of those. I'm going to do my favorite Thor versus maybe 4 or 5 different villains that he goes up against. Or Thor versus villains. But this is Thor versus heroes video. So, well, this isn't the first. I'm going to start with Silver Surfer because he was my other hero. So that's actually part of the reason I love the Silver Surfer so much. Was Thor was my favorite character as a kid growing up. This was one of my favorite covers going up. And I remember buying this exact comic here many moons ago, over 30 years ago. I remember spending, I think this might have been $20. It was a lot. This was graded actually in 2005 or 6 is when I sent this in. It's one of my first, every year when you joined CGC back then, you got 4 free books. This was one of my second time. My first ones were ASM 300. I don't know why, but I'll get into that. But anyway, this was one of my first ones. So I'm going to go over a few covers, and this is going to be fun. You're not going to get all this is the history of this guy. This is going to be straight up just fun covers. So I'm going to start with Thor versus Silver Surfer. This isn't the only time. Okay, they get into a few other ones. Also, there was a masterpiece done. Also, a follow-up to my last videos here. You might be cool, but you never... Silver Surfer wielding Mjolnir smashing the head of the Ghost Rider, who happens to be Frank Castle cool. I'm just throwing that out there. That's my new favorite cover I got in the mail. It's an alternative to Thor, to Thanos 17. It's just pretty badass. Another follow-up here is don't ever think that Thor can't be venomized. This is a rarity. This is Thor, the Mighty Thor number 10. It's the venomized variant. This probably should be graded, and I'm debating on sending this in this time or next time. So that's off there. The other one is I have that same cover, my favorite cover. Somebody got me signed by Stan Lee at a con in New York in, I think, probably 2000 or so. Got me this as a gift. It was really nice. It's been in the same frame ever since, and I got some kind of certificate with a picture of him doing this. So it's nice. Okay, so Thor vs. Silver Surfer. Here's another one. This is Thor 193. It's kind of a key already, and as I said, some of these are kind of keys. It's a pretty cool cover, Thor vs. Silver Surfer. Then we get into the 90s and the 2000s more versions. This is a very 90s style cover. If you watch Reggie's speculation video, we would talk about his live chat. We would talk about Darkhawk and Bloodstrike and Sleepwalkers. It's good, but this was very 90s. It's too the Blood and Thunder run of Thor. And then there was a cover, really funny cover here, rivet cover. This is X-Force versus Cable. Neither one of these characters appear in it, but it's a really cool Thor versus Silver Surfer cover. So there, and the last one is another Mighty Thor, number 22 variant. So I did buy a lot of variants for Thor. Not so much for value as much as what I did. That one ended up being worth a lot of money, but there are a few others. So there you go. That's Thor versus Silver Surfer. Now, in Avengers, the first guy he really gets into it with, other than Tony and Captain America, is Hulk. Now, Thor vs. Hulk has got a long history there. The first time they ever do is Journey of Mystery 112. Thor versus Hulk. Hulk is he's up there as one of my favorite characters. It's always that had a lot to do with the Lou Ferrigno show with Bill Bixby as David Banner, not Bruce Banner. So I guess maybe the father. Long story on there. Anyway, it's a great show. Lou Ferrigno, no CGI. It was pretty good. And there actually was a Thor versus Hulk ones back in like 1981, 82, around that time, maybe 84. That was pretty bad, but I'll still watch it because it was pretty cool. Um, so this was Thor, Journey into Mystery 112. It's Jack Kirby cover. Oh, by the way, that was John Buscema was the first cover there, and the next cover after that was John Buscema as well. I don't know who did the other ones, to be honest with you. Obviously, this is a Jack Kirby style Hulk. Very cool. The next one would have been probably this one, which is Defenders number 10. Another Thor vs. Hulk. This is going to see a Western pen. You're going to see that a lot, actually. Another collection I do is Western pen of my favorite covers, or Western pen collection. It's a Pedigree, and the reason why it's a Pedigree is it's notoriously good, known for its white pages. I have a lot of that Pedigree. I was fortunate enough to be way back at a lot of them out there, and I have the certificates from everybody when the Pedigree became available to the public. I was there in Western Pennsylvania at the time, and it was Pittsburgh area. There was the auction, I think. It was around that time. I was traveling around that area, and I was driving around a lot in that area at the time, and it's been a while, 13 years ago. Look it up. It's a Western pen collection, notoriously known for white pages, which is one of my things. And I got lucky enough, so I love that Pedigree. There's a bunch of other ones, Rocky Mountain, Golden Gate, Don Maggie collection, Donna Rosa. Well, anyway, here's one Western pen. Again, cool cover here. Thor versus the Defenders. Thor Avengers crossover. Dormammu cameo on the last page. Kind of a key for sure. Dormammu cameo. Cameo of Dormammu. Another Thor versus Hulk was Hulk 255. Al Milgrom, who you've seen him in a lot of the Thanos stuff. Al Milgrom's known as he was one of the, outside of George Perez and Jim Starlin during this time, he was doing a lot of them. It's Hulk 255. Not a key. Picked it up. Probably should take it out of here. It's actually a pretty cool cover. Thor versus Hulk again. Not the best copy, but I'll eventually get I was looking at a few Pedigree ones, and I just don't want to spend the money right now on one of those. This is one I've had a while in my collection, and it's just fine the way it is. There you go. Another one, Thor versus Hulk, was Thor 385. Tough to find, actually. This one is books you just don't find in the wild for no apparent reason, but here he is again. Thor versus Hulk. You know how they like to go at it. You've got them going at it again in Ragnarok, as well as the first Avengers, and they kind of seem to always get it on in the comics too. It's a lot. Another Thor vs. Hulk cover is Hulk versus the Avengers. Much more modern cover. Right there. Thor fights everybody in that run. Another Thor vs. Hulk is this is Hulk 4. This Incredible Hulk 440. Actually, this run has a key in it, and I think we talked about it once. The Thunderbolts first appearance 449. It looks like it's around this time, so if you can find that, it's pretty good. But this is a pretty cool cover right there. So this is personal things I like to collect, and those were Thor vs. Hulk, Thor vs. Silver Surfer. Now I'm getting to Thor vs. Spider-Man. Yes, here's another Western pen collection here. This is part of the Western pen. This is Marvel Team Up number 148. Thor vs. Spidey. Here, Thor throwing Mjolnir. Spider-Man's trying to catch it. His Spidey sense isn't going to be able to stop him. It's actually a pretty good storyline. They end up teaming up, and this starts that run. Mighty Thor number 448. Thor vs. Spider-Man on the cover again. There you go. Now, Thor, the very first issue of Thor, not named Journey into Mystery, was Thor 126, and you can see that right here. This is Thor vs. Hercules. This is not the first appearance of Hercules. That's two before it. That's Journey into Mystery 122 or 124. And this is, now Thor 126 is actually Thor 1 after Journey into Mystery 83. Over here, that's mine. So this is Thor vs. Hercules. You see this theme here. It's actually repeated on, and this is one copy here of it, a few copies of this. This is Thor 166. Yeah, 166. This is the second appearance of him, or Adam Warlock. I think this is when he gets his name. He was him on the last one. This is Adam Warlock. Very similar covers. Very similar artists. This is Jack Kirby on this one. I'm pretty sure this is Jack Kirby. Pretty sure. I'll double check that. Then Walt Simonson put out one with Thor versus Beta Ray Bill. You know who Beta Ray Bill is? one of those great characters invented. Cosmic character, by the way. So those are heroes. So here's another. Well, Adam Warlock was kind of borderline hero because he's magnet. You know, he's up there. Speaking of borderline heroes, you've got Thor versus Doctor Strange and Strange Tales number 180. This is a pretty good copy, verified near mint, of a great cover right there. There's Thor going at it with Doctor Strange with Loki manipulating everything in the background. It's one of my favorite covers there. Then we go back all the way back to the 20-cent days, and I have a Submariner number 59. Thor versus the Submariner. Again, Namor. Love Namor a lot. I'm pretty excited if he is part of the Illuminati, and that's where they're going with this, because he's pretty cool. This is not a Western pen. Well, neither is that one. Neither is the Strange Tales Western pen. Here's another Western pen. It's Nova, and I gotta take it out of this. It says Western pen on it. I don't like touching the Western pen because these are pretty much in mint condition. You can see the certificate here, and they're all barcoded on the back. And they're barcoded again on the inside, and it's a recognized pedigree, so it's okay. On this pedigree, this is Thor versus Nova. Okay, we'll leave that. Put that back in the... Okay. And then here's another Western pen certified. This was CBCS. This is my only CBCS, and the reason I did this is a guy I know was sending in all of his books, and I thought he said CGC, and I really wanted this to go, and he was like, hey, if you buy this, I have your Western pen books, I know you want to do it, do you want to send this in? I said, sure, send it in. This is actually, I wanted to test out CBCS, and I heard these cases were pretty good. They're okay, nothing against it. I just like CGC a little bit better. But here we go, Thor versus Captain Marvel, right on the cover. And then you can see right here it says Thor Western pen copy. Okay, it says it on a few of my other books. I have not just Thor Western pens. I have a few other Western pens I do collect. Quite a few. It's my favorite pedigree. Stuff you gotta find in right there. Here's another one. 12-cent days, Silver Age, Daredevil number 30. This is a really cool one. Daredevil. I have an original copy of this. I think it's somewhere over here, or I might have sold it already. I upgraded to this one. I really like this. This is really cool. It's Daredevil, so can't really go wrong. Daredevil versus Spidey is one of my favorite themes as well. Here's Thor versus Iron Man, Iron Man 66. And this is actually cool because this is a Gil Kane cover. So then, you know, Thor fights everybody in the universe and right there. Oh, but not just the Marvel universe, okay? Thor fights fights Superman on Justice League versus the Avengers number 2. Right there, Superman. So that's pretty cool. Now, it's really hard to find a Thor versus Batman, but not really. I did find one, but it's before Journey to Mystery 83. This is a Batman 127. This was a fun find. Made a trade with the guy for this, and he didn't want much, and we were talking about this for a while, and this is one of my things, and he said, hey, it's a beautiful copy, and he's right. This is from 1959. Journey to Mystery was 62. So this is 3 years before, because they don't own the rights to the name Thor, because it's obviously Thor's been in mythology forever. It's like you don't own the rights to the name Zeus, or you don't own the rights, you own the likeness, but not the names. So there you go. This is a Batman. Thor versus Batman. That's Thor there, and he's throwing Mjolnir. It's kind of a weak, I don't know. It's again, the funny thing is, this is Kurt Swan and Stan K. This is and it's Bill Fingers, who, if you're a Batman fan, you know who that is. This is an early Batman, 1959. I think it's Golden Age. It's just really thick. Considered Golden Age. My only Golden Age of that run. Thor eventually fights his dad, which you know about, Odin. I have 2 covers for that. There's a lot more, but there's 2 I have, which is my Western pen, which is the first cover you see them actually fight on it, and Thor 187. Might not be the first that they actually, but it's one where it's just those 2, and it's got the whole world law, father versus son. And this is another Western pen, you can see there. This is a beautiful copy as well, and I put my little notes on there, what grade I think it is. Some of these are not going to be near mint. Some of these are going to be very fine, plus, like they're 8. Oh, they're nothing less than an 8, but it's it's more or less to have the pedigree and a verified pedigree with the barcode. It's also because these pages are crispy white, and I think that is a big key with books. White pages, good looking covers, very important in the book. Here's another cool. This is just a cool cover here. One of the ones I love. Thor actually fights himself a couple of times, and I only brought out 2. This is the second one, and I'm going to end it on my next one because I got to put this ready to be pressed. That's why I'm rushing through this. Thor 459, 458, and Thor 459. It's Thor versus Thor. If you don't know the storyline, this one, Thor Odinson's gone, and a new guy, I'm not going to get into it, takes on a new character, takes on Mjolnir, and eventually they fight for the rights to Mjolnir again. And that's where the famous line is, "Who shall hold this hammer? Can wield the power of Mjolnir. I am worthy." So one more thing. This is one of my favorite covers of all time, and it kind of was a great way to end it here. I end on one of my favorite covers, and I start on one of my favorite covers, top 10 cover, and I'm ending on one of my top 10 favorite covers. So there you go. Again, this is more or less about stuff that I like to collect besides keys, because just going after your grails and stuff like that, it's going to get boring and it's going to get expensive. You need a side hobby when you're out there digging in the dollar bins or something else. So one of the things you research, maybe if you're a big Spidey fan, I know there's a lot. You could collect the black suit Spidey covers. You can collect Spider-Man versus one of your favorite villains, either be Mysterio, Doc Ock. There's so many Spider-Man villains, you got a lot to choose from. I know a lot of people do that birthday, the month and year that they came out. They try to get all the books that come out, not just keys. And it's really funny because you could find a lot of them in the dollar bin, but then you find out, like in my case, there's a big key that came out during that time, and it's like, and I got to buy a big key for that. I mean, just think about it. If you were born, in 1961 with Fantastic Four 1 or AF-15, or if you were born the same month or whatever later on as Hulk 181, or maybe even later on and was before the Punisher or Thanos or something. So anyway, thank you, or Beta Ray Bill or whatever. Thank you guys very much. This is just more of a fun video. This is part 1 of my Thor set. It's going to become in 3 parts. I will be doing a Thor solo best covers, including Journey and Mystery 83. I have mine over here. I will bring it down. I will not send that in to be graded anytime soon. Promise. So I don't have to rush that one. After that, I might do Thor vs. Villain covers and keys and stuff like that, and original art. I promise I'll show some original artwork, not just by me. I'm probably not going to show my own, maybe a few, but then I'll show you some work done by some pretty famous artists out there, like Walt Simonson done, and some comic sheets I might have. So again, thanks again very much.